Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. To start the event, this is the national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Tommy Chokro and very honored to be part of this event as the Master of Ceremony. May we all bless with great health. And good morning and welcome to PLN Go Green and Sustainable. Boleh tepuk tangan secara virtual. And please allow us to greet a special welcome to Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, Vice Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, Director General of Budget Financing and Risk Management Ministry of Finance, Director General of Fiscal Balance Minister of Finance, Director General of State Assets Ministry of Finance, Director General of Budget Ministry of Finance, President Director of PT Sarana Multi Infrastruktur Persero, President Commissioner of PT PLN Persero and all members of the Board of Commissioners, CEO of PT PLN Persero and the Board of Directors of PT PLN Persero, and to the rest of PLN officials who are also watching the event through Zoom meeting or PLN's YouTube channel. Again, good morning and welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, in the PLN transformation program entitled Power Beyond Generation, PLN has shown its commitment to encourage the use of environmentally friendly energy through one of the aspirations in the PLN transformation program, the Aspirasi Green. This is also done by PLN to achieve Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Therefore, in accordance with the title of our activities today, we will witness together one of PLN's efforts to transform into a green and sustainable company. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to welcome you all, the President Director of PT PLN Persero, Bapak Zulkifli Zaini.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Selamat pagi, good morning. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Salam. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. The Honorable Minister of Finance of Republic of Indonesia, Ibu Sri Mulyani Indrawati, Vice Minister of Finance of Republic of Indonesia, Bapak Swasil Nazara, Director General of Treasury, Ministry of Finance, Director General of State Asset, Ministry of Finance, Director General of Budget, Ministry of Finance, Director General of Budget Financing and Risk Management, Ministry of Finance, Director General, Southeast Asia Region of Asian Development Bank, Deputy Director General, Southeast Asia Regional of Asian Development Bank, Country Director, Indonesia of Asian Development Bank, President Director of PT Sarana Multi Infrastructure, PSERU, Bapak Edwin Sahbujat, President Commissioner of PT PLN, Bapak Amin Sunaryadi, all members of Board of Directors and Board of Commissioners of PLN. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of PLN, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all the participants who already joined the virtual launching of PLN Statement of Intent on Sustainable Financing Framework that fully supported by the Asian Development Bank, ADB. As a part of Indonesia's participation in the 2030 Agenda launched by United Nations to reach 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, Indonesia has committed to reducing carbon emission, delivering a cleaner and healthier environment, and ensuring inclusive social and economic development. Our stakeholders rightly demand increased attention to the sustainability of our operations in line with Indonesia's commitment. Therefore, in April 2020, we have launched our new transformation program entitled Power Beyond Generation, which is one of our strategies in a green initiative. It would encourage the use of green energy to protect our future generation. Moreover, this strategy emphasizes the need to incorporate environment and social sustainability into our planning, investment, and operation, and to align our financing with this transformation. This statement of intent is a major step forward for PLN to show our commitment to the green transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, PLN has already made impressive progress in improving our sustainability. In 2019 alone, we added 463 megawatt of renewable generating capacity, or over 60% more than the target. We installed over 160 solar systems in East Nusa Tenggara and Papua to supply remote communities. We run various programs in supporting foremost, outermost, and disadvantaged area, or we call as treaty area, including Listrik Desa or LISA. Program for rural electricity and the provision for free electricity connection to more than 48,000 households. During 2019, our corporate social responsibility and partnership and community development program reached more than 275 billion. Nevertheless, We remain acute aware that much more action is needed. Despite impressive growth, renewable sources are just 12% of our total capacity, well short of the national energy policy target of 23% of capacity by 2025. While electrification is nearing 100%, the last million households are the hardest to reach and have the lowest ability to pay. And the economic downturn facing us all make social protection more important than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, although we face many challenges, it also lies the new opportunities. One of them is the impetus to look to new financing in line with our transformation strategy. For the first time, PLN is setting out publicly how we intend to meet the best practice requirement for raising sustainable financing. Such finance does much more than deliver new funding. The need to ensure investment and operation meet sustainable requirement will embed our commitment into our day-to-day work, and also it will challenge our internal process and our outlook. Our process to develop this statement of intent would be difficult without ADB fully support. Therefore, I would like to sincerely thank ADB teams for their advisory services and assistance in helping PLN. We also would like to thank all the consultants and parties involved during the documentation preparation. Without all of your support, PLN Statement of Intent on Sustainability Financing Framework would not be finished. Ladies and gentlemen, our Statement of Intent is only an initial stage in participating in the green sustainability financing. We are still having many actions and steps taken to be a green and sustainable electricity company in Indonesia. We are attempting to change, and we are aware that our journey is still long. However, we are ready to transform. We look forward to this challenge, and we are ready to deliver to both a highly quality and a sustainable electricity supply to the people of Indonesia. In this opportunity, we would like to launch some other initiatives as one chain, as an effort to achieve the sustainability and green initiative of PLN. Today, we also launched and report our cooperation and collaboration with PT SME, Sarana Multi Infrastruktur, to develop the renewable energy projects and initiative under the platform of SDG Indonesia One. Furthermore, in attempt to achieve our sustainability agenda, today we launched as well our initiative to strengthen our risk management through PLN's Risk Stock Series book. This book will show how PLN has built foundation toward good corporate governance. Regarding our business operation has contributed to national economic growth, and so how PLN developed a risk culture as part of bringing PLN to grow on a sustainable path. All these strategic action can be the evidence that PLN always continuously transform the institution to strengthen its sustainability through its strategic transformation agenda of green, lean, innovative, and customer focus. Moreover, PLN is determined to become the electricity champion of Southeast Asia and the #1 choice of from the customer for energy solution in the next 4-5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, lastly, on behalf of the Board of Directors of PT PLN Persero, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Minister of Finance of Republic of Indonesia, Ibu Sri Mulyani Indrawati, and Vice Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, Bapak Suhasil Nazara, for the support. Again, on this occasion, I extend my sincere appreciation to ADB, PT SME, team, and all related parties involved and contribute to help PLN in launching this statement of intent document. The collaboration between PLN and PT SME for renewable energy projects and the launching of Restock Series book. Hopefully, our next cooperation would continue in the next future. Thank you very much for your support and attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. Zulkifli Zaini, as the President Director of PT PLN Persero, for your warm welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, PLN is committed to provide electricity to all parties, and as mentioned before, is to increase the use of environmentally friendly energy and reduce carbon emissions. Therefore, PLN has issued the document PLN Statement of Intent on Sustainability Financing Framework as one of the company strategies to realize green financing. And in an effort to realize a green and sustainable company in Indonesia, PLN is fully supported by the Asian Development Bank, or ADB. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the General Director of ADB, Mr. Ramesh Subramaniam.
Thank you very much, Honorable and respected Minister of Finance and also ADB Governor for Republic of Indonesia, Dr. Sri Mulyani Indrawati, Bapak Suhasil Nazara, the Vice Minister of Finance and also the Deputy President Commissioner for PLN, Bapak Amin Sunar Yardi, President Commissioner of PLN, Bapak Zulkifli Zaini, President Director of PLN, Bapak Dharmawan Prasojo, Deputy President Director of PLN, a number of senior Ministry of Finance officials, as well as from PTSMI. Very nice to see all of you. Very good morning. Let me start by extending on behalf of ADB our heartfelt anniversary wishes to 75th anniversary wishes, that is, to PLN, to the President Director, its Board of Commissioners and Directors, and all of PLN staff with whom ADB has been privileged to work very closely toward the delivery of reliable, affordable, and sustainable electricity to all corners of Indonesia. ADB is a little bit younger than PLN. We are 54 years old. And it was around 50 years ago that the Asian Development Bank provided its first loan to PLN. It was a loan for electricity transmission and distribution in Pontianak in West Kalimantan. The mission then and now, as its core, has got to increase electricity access to improve the life of the Indonesian people and support the development of modern industry and manufacturing. Indonesia and PLN have come a long way since. And ADB on its part is very proud to have been very closely involved in supporting PLN and the government of Indonesia to expand access to electricity with a total of 32 sovereign projects amounting to $4.2 billion to PLN and other projects in the sector to support policy and regulatory development, as well as private sector loans to IPPs. We are especially pleased about an ever closer partnership with PLN under President Widodo's administration, and in particular with the Board of Directors and Commissioners. Outside the Ministry of Finance, PLN is ADB's single largest client in Indonesia, and indeed one of our larger clients in the broader Asia and Pacific region. Indonesia, as an upper middle income country, has embarked on the next step on its development journey towards high income levels by 2045, which is also Republic of Indonesia's centennial. To advance in its development trajectory, Indonesia needs to power itself, needs electricity. It is therefore only appropriate that we've come together today to focus on the key energy issues of our time, the sustainable transformation of the energy sector, harnessing the abundant clean and renewable energy sources that Indonesia is abundantly endowed with. This will ultimately help decrease costs, improve air quality, and contribute to the national and global goals to mitigate the adverse impacts of climate change. The rapid decline in renewable energy costs is indeed remarkable. We've seen in the past 3 years a grid connected solar below 2 cents per kilowatt hour in the Middle East, Europe, and South America. In Southeast Asia, ADB supported a reverse auction process in Cambodia for a 60 megawatt grid connected solar plant with a final winning price of 3.8 cents per kilowatt hour. These cost reductions in the global market will certainly help PLN bring down the cost of production and boost sustainability. ADB's corporate strategy, called Strategy 2030, commits our institution to green, sustainable, inclusive, and resilient infrastructure investments. Toward this end, we've committed over $80 billion in climate finance for the Asia and Pacific region from ADB's own resources until 2030. In this context, we note that Indonesia already committed to decreasing its greenhouse gas emissions by at least 29% in 2009, and the government translated this into a target of 23% renewable energy in the energy mix by 2025 and 30% by 2030. This has already led to a shift towards more renewable energy over the last few years, driven by private sector investments. ADB is very privileged to have been associated with these efforts. We provided financing representing 25% of all solar and geothermal generation and 50% of all wind generation in Indonesia. And we are increasingly engaged in terms of supporting public-private partnerships for waste to energy. Now, in this context, PLN's new corporate strategy and its focus on clean energy and green financing, as very nicely laid out by the President Director, represent a sea change in the electricity sector in Indonesia. I'd like to congratulate on behalf of ADB, Pak Zulkifli, and the Board of Directors on this highly transformative strategy. We, on behalf of ADB, commit here and now our very strong support to PLN in implementing the strategy over the coming years. The Sustainable Financing Framework launched this morning shows how PLN is turning its words into action. It represents a strong commitment to moving from conventional financing and projects to green financing for clean and sustainable energy projects. In this context, let me also mention briefly that ADB has been privileged to assist PLN on its first sustainable transition bond, which is now being planned for 2021. This is a super exciting initiative and will further strengthen PLN's ability to raise capital at competitive prices and reduce its carbon footprint. Going forward, ADB will continue to support PLN with project and program financing for distribution and generation and help PLN innovate new concepts to contract least cost renewable energy from independent power producers. Despite the many challenges facing the economy and the sector, these are exciting times for Indonesia's electricity sector in terms of supporting the green recovery post-COVID with innovative approaches. It'll present opportunities for PLN to thrive, and we will be a committed partner, and we look forward to continuing and further deepening the partnership moving forward. Thank you so much to all of you. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramesh Subramaniam, General Director of ADB. And ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome now the Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, to Ibu Sri Mulyani Indrawati.
Thank you, Tommy Cokro. Yang saya hormati Bapak Suhasil Nasara, our Vice Minister, with all the Echelon 1 from the Ministry of Finance, Pak Amin Sunaryadi, President Commissioner PT PLN, and all other board members of Commissioner of PT PLN Persero, Pak Zulkifli Zaini, President Director of PLN, and all member of Board of Directors of PLN, Pak Erwin Syarusat, President Director PT SME, and all member of Board Director of PT SME, and Pak Ramesh, our friends from ADB. And also, ladies and gentlemen, who's now following and participating in this event, PLN Go Green and Sustainable. First of all, I would like to extend my appreciation and congratulations to PLN, which is launching this event, that is PLN Go Green and Sustainable, which comprise a sustainable financing framework, or SFF, collaboration between PT PLN and PT SMI in renewable energy development, and also launching PLN Risk Talk book as part of risk management in PLN. The issue which is raised in this forum have a very strategic value in understanding the direction of the PLN, but also most importantly, also the direction of the energy policy, especially on electricity fulfillment for Indonesia. So the dimension is much larger than PT PLN. Ladies and gentlemen, and all my colleagues, we are all understand that today we are facing two very important risks globally, very big risks for the global, not only economy, but also for the population. First is pandemic, COVID-19, and the second one is climate change. These two is not substitute, or it is not in the order of priority. They both equally important. For the COVID-19, the government of Indonesia has pursued various policies to respond to the challenge of COVID-19, from the health area to the social, economic, as well as financial side. We are improving or increasing our social protection, especially for the poor, which is very vulnerable during this COVID-19. And we also increase our support for the small, medium enterprises, including also the general business community, because they are all indiscriminately has been affected severely by the COVID-19. While we focus on addressing the issue of this risk COVID-19, it doesn't mean that the government of Indonesia put the second very important risk globally, that is climate change, on a second order. We will continue and we will continue commit our policy as well as instrument directing and addressing the issue of climate change. Within this context, of course, government of Indonesia also fully committed with the Sustainable Development Goal. In fact, these two, that is SDG and the climate change, has been mainstream within the government policy, whether this is on the budget, development planning, as well as then translated into policy and instrument that is adopted. So for Indonesia, our commitment on the climate change has been expressed through the Paris Agreement. Our national determined contribution, that is, we are going to reduce the CO2 by 26% with our own resources, and up to 42% reduction with international support, is still continue to be implemented consistently. And that means for the energy, and especially electricity, playing a very, very critical role. For the PLN or the Ministry of Energy, we've already aspired to achieve 25% of our Indonesia also aspired to achieve 23% or 45 gigawatt of renewable energy in our national energy mix by 2025. But if you look at the current situation, 2019, Indonesia is still managing 9.15% renewable energy mix. In electricity sector, renewable energy generate around 11% of the total electricity produced in 2019. So this is a big challenge for us to be able to achieve even 23% of renewable energy mix within our national energy. And Indonesia is not lack of potential. We have 442 gigawatt of renewable energy potential. But currently, we only use 10.4 gigawatt or 2.4%. So there must be something that we could do more. There must be something that we need to change in order for us to be able to use and tap this huge potential that is not only good for Indonesia, that is not only for us to be able to deliver the commitment on the national determined contribution, but this is also good for the world. And that's why this event today is very important. Ministry of Finance providing many of our policy tools and instruments in order for us to be able to support PLN and Ministry of Energy to be able to improve and increase the energy mix, especially in the form of renewable energy. We are providing incentive in a tax facility in the form of tax allowance and tax holiday. We also provide import facility that are exempting the VAT import and import duty, especially for the capital good which is imported, in order for us to be able to explore and also invest in the renewable energy. We also provide land and building tax exemption. At the subnational fiscal transfer, we also provide dana alokasi khusus, that is specific transfer grant for the local government that is designed to encourage the regional government to develop infrastructure for renewable energy, especially solar, biogas, and geothermal power plant. We also provide this transfer in order for us to be able to encourage local government to manage their waste to become an energy. So it will provide a more circular economy. We in Indonesia, Ministry of Finance also providing capital injection or PMN, penanaman modal negara. Currently, I think we really need to focus the PMN more for supporting renewable energy. I understand Pak Zulkifli in his speech earlier saying that they are having a very challenging task of finishing the 1 million, the last 1 million of the household in Indonesia, so that we are going to achieve 100 electrification ratio. This is a very good and noble goal, but I also want to encourage PLN not only focus in providing 100% electricity for all the population, but also committing in order for you to be able to achieve the energy mix, which is already outlined in your own plan. In this case, I think the PMN in the future of capital injection should be more dedicated to expand and develop renewable energy as well as for transmission. This is going to also provide a discipline for the PLN to be able to use the government money for the most important and more strategic for the future goal. In this context, government also provide guarantee for lowering financing costs. So ADB role in this case by providing loan for renewable energy projects such as development geothermal power plant, hopefully it's going to be able to address the issue of lowering financing as well as addressing the risk. Government of Indonesia also providing spending in the form of innovative financing scheme to accelerate and to achieve all those very important targets, especially within the context of energy and PLN, especially also related to lowering the risk of the renewable energy cost, so that the price of the energy which is coming from the renewable is not way too high, that then discourage of the exploration on the use. Okay. Price mechanism is very critical, not only within PLN, but on our budget, that is APBN. And so we have to be able to work together on how we can formulate price that will encourage more for the PLN to use renewable, while at the same time also creating the right incentive and efficiency of our subsidy spending. This is the area that I would like Vice Minister Pak Sua, which is also within the Board of Commissioner of PLN, to work with the Board of Director of the PLN. Now, for today, the PLN Statement of Intent on Sustainable Financing Framework, which is fully supported by Asian Development Bank, is aligned very well and consistent with this kind of commitment. I'm glad that PLN is doing and make a very important step and really not only make a statement of intent. I do hope it is going to be translated into a real action. And within this case, all the contributors from within government as well as from multilateral development will be ready to support PLN in this kind of endeavor. Developing renewable energy is always very challenging, but it is not impossible. We have already have quite a lot of experience, and we should use this experience to guide us to formulate a better and the right policy in order for us to be able to develop Indonesia and provide more energy needs by our population and business, but in a more sustainable way. The importance of this sustainable financing framework in preparing future steps to seize future opportunity in order to achieve financial sustainability is very critical, because we cannot make a choice between renewable and developing renewable while the PLN will not be sustainable financially. As I said earlier, like pandemic and climate change, we don't have what the other one as a second priority. Both are first priority. This is also the same. If we are going to have a sustainable financing framework, we are going to achieve PLN financing condition which is sustainable, and also the commitment to provide and to develop renewable energy is going to be consistent and continuously developed. This is one of the most important, as PLN is the biggest state-owned enterprise in Indonesia and the only off-taker in providing electricity in Indonesia. So the decision made by PLN really changed fundamentally Indonesia energy policy and energy governance. This is all the tasks that I would like to ask for the Board of Commissioner as well as the Board of Director of the PLN to really take this task very seriously. We appreciate PLN in preparing also mitigation plan to resolve the risk which is coming not only from their own energy mix, but also in terms of the shock coming from outside. We do understand that the volatility of the energy price is also one of the most important that affecting PLN. At the same time, the changing of the energy price, whether this is coming from renewable or non-renewable, is definitely going to affect PLN. So within that context, I appreciate the Board of Directors' effort in order for you to be able to address this risk in a more comprehensive way, without losing the focus and commitment for developing sustainable energy, which is relies more on renewable. Today's event is also marked the important cooperation between PT PLN and PT SMI. I'm glad to really see this cooperation between PLN and PT SMI to develop renewable energy project and also initiative under the platform of SDG Indonesia One. This is one of the creative financing in which globally the interest as well as the eagerness to not only commit to the climate change, but also eager to provide financing should be used as an opportunity for PTSMI and PLN to tap those potential, and then translating into the project that can also increase our ability to improve the renewable mix within our energy mix. PT PLN, as a state electricity company, on April 21st, has launched PT PLN Transformation Program, one of which is the Green Initiative, in which PLN will encourage and accelerate the execution of renewable energy program in Indonesia. I really want to see, I do hope that this kind of launching of the PLN transformation will be translated into significant increasing of renewable energy in Indonesia. And for PTSMI, in implementing SDG Indonesia One platform, we can work with PT PLN in order to tap the international interest and eagerness to finance all the renewable energy and the more sustainable energy need for Indonesia. The SDG platform has been encountering several obstacles, including high exploration and development risk, project bankability, tariff scheme, and project financing scheme. I would like for PLN and PTSMI as the arm's length of Ministry of Finance to address this issue and also discuss with the government of Indonesia, especially Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Energy, in order for us to be able to address all those risks in a proper and manageable way. This is one of the collaboration that I always continue to encourage from within Ministry of Finance, across Directorate General or unit, as well as with our SMV, that is Special Mission Vehicle like PTSMI, PTPII, and other SMV, and the SOE or state-owned enterprises. Of course, we understand that it is not only risk, but price is also critical. So we cannot address this issue without addressing the price or the tariff. I would like to be very open on this kind of situation to address this issue. And also, of course, within this context, the effort of Ministry of Finance with the Ministry of Environment to introduce carbon price. Because at one hand, we have to deal with the price of electricity and subsidy. On the other hand, we also have to address and introduce more rigorously the concept of carbon price within our economy. As a closing, I would like to again encourage PT PLN and congratulate PT PLN on this very important step. I do hope this is not just a ceremonial event, but mark the most important determination of the Board of Directors as well as Board of Commissioners of PT PLN to really adopting the strategy in achieving the energy mix and developing renewable energy as the most important source of energy. I know it's not easy. I know there are so many obstacles, but that is exactly why you are assigned by the government to take this job. And I do hope that you are all will be able to deliver this important mission. Because this is not only important for PLN today, but for tomorrow. This is not important for our population today, but for our generation in the future. So I would like to express my gratitude to PT PLN, the whole Board of Commissioners, Board of Directors, and all staff of PLN, PTSMI for their commitment, and ADB, and also all related parties that contributed to this production of clean energy in Indonesia. We do hope that Indonesia is going to be able to show our credible path towards sustainable goal, sustainable development goal, and our commitment to fight climate change. Thank you very much for your attention and have a very good discussion. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Minister of Finance of Republic of Indonesia, Ibu Sri Mulyani Indrawati. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia's participation in 2030 agenda launched by the United Nations to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, Indonesia has committed to reduce carbon emissions to provide a cleaner and healthier environment. To support the sustainability development goals in the country, it's necessary to develop a funding scheme by adding SDG values. A company needs sustainability financing, which will regulate the mechanism for selecting business activities, projects, and the use of funds, as well as the mechanism of reporting the funds obtained. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the launch of the Sustainable Financing Framework. Please give a big round of applause virtually for this launch. Thank you very much. And now this is the time to take a picture together. So please turn on the camera. And let's pose for 2 thumbs up all together. On 3, 1, 2, 3. And now sekali lagi ya. 1, 2, 3. Alright, thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak semuanya. Boleh tepuk tangan sekali lagi. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's see the next video, the MoU SDG Indonesia One. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next session, allow me to speak in Bahasa Indonesia. Bapak dan Ibu sekalian, telah kita saksikan bersama tadi video penandatanganan MoU SDG Indonesia One oleh PT PLN Persero dengan PT Sarana Multi Infrastruktur. Nah, untuk selanjutnya, mari kita dengarkan bersama-sama laporan MoU SDG Indonesia One oleh PT Sarana Multi Infrastruktur yang akan disampaikan oleh Direktur Utama PT Sarana Multi Infrastruktur, Bapak Edwin Syahruzan. Kami silakan.
Terima kasih, Tommy Cokro. Honorable Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, Bu Sri Mulyani Indrawati, Honorably Vice Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, Pak Suhasil Nazara, Honorably Director General of State Asset, Director General of Financing and Risk Management, Director General of Treasury, Minister of Finance, Honorably President Director of PT PLN, Vice President Director, President Commissioner, along with the Board of Directors and Commissioners of PT PLN, Honorably Director General of Asia Pacific Asian Development Bank, Ramesu Subramanian. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, Om Swastiastu, Nama Budaya, Salam Kebajikan. Honorable Minister of Finance, ladies and gentlemen, on these occasions, please allow me to update with the progress of our commitment, PT Sarana Multi Infrastruktur and PT PLN, in realizing SOE cooperation and synergy to achieve government targets in pursuing cleaner and greener energy mixture, which has been targeted 23% NRE by 2025. On May 14, 2020, we signed a MoU on SDG Indonesia One platform to collaborate in a more concrete terms, with one of the target being achievement of Sustainable Development Goals number 7, namely the provision of affordable and clean energy to ensure that everyone has access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy by 2030. This is also an effort to fully support the transformation program launched by PT PLN on April 21, 2020, where one of them is a green initiative in which PLN will encourage and accelerate the execution of the renewable energy program in Indonesia to encourage the achievement of greater energy mixture. In terms of implementation, currently a task force team has been formed between PLN and PTSMI to implement various programs that will collaborate, where the current focus is to become a quick win collaboration, including the following. First is the exploration support for a renewable energy financing, where currently discussion and exploration has been carried out for a financing of Dieng binary geothermal power plant project with a capacity of 10 megawatt, whereby the project also collaborate with one of the SMV, namely PT GDPA Pesero. In addition, PTSMI will also collaborate with PLN in geothermal development through GRAM, or Geothermal Resource Risk Mitigation Facility Program, where the GRAM facility aims to provide the financing and risk mitigation facilities for geothermal exploration activities. A special feature of GRAM is the availability of a de-risking facility or a risk-sharing scheme, where in the event of an exploration failure, developer doesn't fully bear the risk and cost of the exploration. The existence of the financing facility with the de-risking feature for an upstream development will reduce an exploration risk, as the biggest risk faced by geothermal developers. In the context of PLN, the implementation of GRAM program will use the window of SOE drilling, who receive also a special assignment from Ministry of Finance. Another form of support that will be provided is in the form of technical support for a project preparation through a collaboration with various development partners who have joined the SDG Indonesia One platform to support PT PLN project readiness to encourage the origination of PPP scheme, so that it can allow greater participation of private sectors in renewable energy investment in the future. Finally, it is necessary to develop knowledge and capacity of PLN personnel for the preparation of EBT projects, especially how to collaborate with business entities in the future. Therefore, the support of capacity building activities can be a means for PLN personnel to understand important aspects in the project prep stage, especially renewable energy. Apart from this very support, we also very open to collaborate with PLN in various other initiatives, including exploring investment scheme to support the PLN Go Green transformation program. We are very aware that only with the collaboration and support of strong stakeholders will we work together to push for a better energy that ensure the sustainability of development that we will pass for our future generation. Honorable Minister of Finance, ladies and gentlemen, this is the report on the progress of collaboration between PLN and PT SMI. We hope that the strong support from the government and all stakeholders who are present this morning can be continued so that the good synergy can continue to produce good work for the development of Indonesia. Again, thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih kepada Bapak Edwin Syahruzan. Dalam upaya untuk mencapai agenda yang berkelanjutan dan memperkuat manajemen risiko, serta dalam rangka transformasi institusi untuk memperkuat keberlanjutan PLN melalui transformasi green, lean, inovatif, dan customer focus. PLN melaksanakan program webinar sharing knowledge yang kemudian didokumentasikan menjadi sebuah buku PLN Risk Talk. Dan Bapak Ibu sekalian, inilah peluncuran buku PLN Risk Talk.
PLN menjadi penggerak roda perekonomian bangsa melalui penyediaan ketenagalistrikan di tanah air. Wilayah operasi PLN mencakup seluruh sektor masyarakat, mulai dari bisnis, industri, sampai dengan rumah tangga dan sosial. Mulai dari kota besar, kota kecil, pedesaan, hingga wilayah terpencil. Aset PLN adalah salah satu yang terbesar dari korporasi dan perusahaan yang ada di Indonesia. Cakupan bisnisnya meliputi sektor pembangkitan, transmisi, distribusi, dan usaha kelistrikan lainnya. Oleh karena itu, PLN dituntut untuk mengoptimalkan layanannya dan meningkatkan kinerjanya sesuai dengan perkembangan dan perubahan zaman. Sebagai badan usaha yang 100% dimiliki pemerintah, PLN menjalankan mandat dan sekaligus mendapatkan dukungan dalam bentuk penyertaan modal, pinjaman, subsidi, dan kompensasi serta kebijakan. Dengan nilai aset, cakupan bisnis, dan jangkauan operasi, PLN harus membangun ekosistem bisnis berbasis manajemen risiko untuk meningkatkan kinerja dan membangun budaya tata kelola yang baik atau good corporate governance. Transformasi PLN, Power Beyond Generations.
Ya, sekali lagi boleh tepuk tangan yang meriah. Congratulations. Selamat atas peluncuran buku PLN Talks dan PLN Risk Talks. Dan that conclude our event today. Dan waktunya selesai acara PLN Go Green and Sustainable pada hari ini. Semoga apa yang diharapkan untuk kemajuan dan transformasi PLN dapat terus berjalan demi terangnya Indonesia. And I'm Tommy Cokro signing off. Saya Tommy Cokro pamit undur diri. Sukses terus untuk PLN dan tetap optimistis untuk menerangi Indonesia dan tetap jangan lupa untuk jaga kesehatan. Semoga kita semua sehat selalu. Sampai jumpa. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.